Okay, tutorial number 2. Once we've got our walls up in Archicad for our sleep out, so I've got approximately a 40 square meter building here, and I'm looking at in ground view. So let's go F3 to the 3D view. I'll orbit around it just to have a little look, spin it around, and we can go back to F2 to go back to the ground floor. So the next one to have a little play with is probably the object tool. You can get quite carried away in here and it's quite fun. So let's have a look at this one. So in the object tool is all our library parts, and the best way to find the best library part is to just put up in here what you want to look for. So let's go bed. Pretty obvious. It's looking up here where the green little arrows are going around. It's found library parts 70 beds in Archicad. But if we scroll down, it's also got this little kind of basketball symbol, and that's all the library parts that are on the internet as well that architects have made. So they can take a little while to load. They tend to be a little bit more interesting. So if you're looking for something a bit more interesting, you can select that and download it as well. If it gets to a point where it's just not downloading, it's a part that just sometimes doesn't work. So that can happen and you will need to cancel out. It's looking like this one is one of those. So that's a bit of a shame. Let's go with the standard part for now. This one here. When it's downloaded, it comes up with all of these different options. Every library part has different options that are customizable. This one here in the custom settings, you can change the headboard. So there's different headboards. You can change the different legs on your bed. You can have different surfaces as well. So you're looking for 3D representation of surfaces. And here is where you can change the headboard surface. So instead of a timber headboard, you might want a black marble headboard. Legs, you might want to go with metal legs. And you can also change your mattress color or your duvet color to be something that you want to have in your room, and pillows. And it's just a matter of clicking them into place. The first question I get is always, how do you move it? So once you've clicked it into place, you want to go up to the arrow tool and select your object. You're looking for the little black node. You would have seen then that it's got a magnet. If it's got a magnet, sweet, it'll click on anywhere. If it hasn't got a magnet, you're looking for that tick. It means you've ticked on that little black node. Control D is drag. So Control D is drag, and you can just move it around. If you're wanting to rotate it so it's on a different wall, Control E is rotate. It brings up this compass. You would have seen these in maths. This is a little bit tricky. So when we rotate, we click, draw a line, click again, and turn until you're happy, and click again. Okay, so let's do that again. You can also rewind. Control E, click, draw a line, click again, turn, and click. Control D is drag it into place. You can also put these items in the 3D view as well. So F3 takes us to our 3D view. There we have it in our walls. We haven't got our floor in yet or our ceiling in. I just thought you guys might want to have a little play in the library. There's a couple of things to consider when we're in the library, double clicking on that little chair, is that Archicad's an American program, so you've got to think like an American. So there won't be spa pools in here, but there will be jacuzzis. I think there's jacuzzis. Yeah, jacuzzi. So if you can't find the object, think what's the American slang or terminology for the object you're looking for, and you're more likely to find it. There are all sorts of things. There's airplanes and sports fields and basketball courts and everything you can ever imagine. The other thing to consider is when you are looking for objects, it's still searching up the top. There we go. when we're looking for objects, sometimes this one looks quite suspicious. Let's have a look at this one. Sometimes objects are made in a different language, see? So they're made by architects overseas. And this one's not downloading for me either. Oh yes, here it comes. So all the language will be in Spanish or German or whatever it might be. So you might find it a little bit tricky to navigate because you won't know what some of this stuff says. But always just click in custom settings or parameters and just kind of click your way through until you see something you recognize. Looks like this might be the material. No, that's not the material. It's in here. Surfaces. Here we go. So there's the 3 surfaces for this bed. So there's the upholstery. It could be the bed head maybe. The mattress. And the legs. So you can change that around. So just consider that as well. Let's go to 3D. So it changed that library part because I had it selected. So the last bed I had selected, and when I went into the library and chose something else, it replaced it. If you don't want to replace your library part, make sure you don't have it selected. So with your arrow tool, if you have something selected and you don't want to, you can just either click out of it, or the other thing to do is press escape on your keyboard. It's probably enough for today. There's a lot to explore in the library part, so have fun.